Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of The Sweet Spot. This is your host Ryan Embry. As you can tell if you're watching us on YouTube, we are not in our content creation studio. We are actually here at the IHG Design Center in Atlanta, Georgia. So excited to be here and joined by our guest Brandon. Brandon, thank you so much for hosting us here at the IHG Design Center.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
We're going to talk about Hotel Indigo today. Tell me, maybe people seeing this on YouTube might not know or recognize where we're at right now. Give us a little bit of background about what this is.
Great, yeah, we're here at the IHG Design Center here in Atlanta, Georgia. And it's really sort of a space where we can sort of test and showcase and sort of visualize new ideas, solutions, particularly with a mind towards design. And typically it's been used for our prototypical mainstream brands, but there's been a fun opportunity to sort of bring that to life for Hotel Indigo, which is our upper upscale lifestyle brand. So really excited to have a presence here.
Yeah, it's what I would call one of the most unique hotels, because you can go across the room, open it, and there's one brand, then you go across the hall.
Right.
But we're here at the Hotel Indigo, and we are not only having maybe a door next door, but we have two rooms and one behind us. And that has to all do with this growing brand and this creative collection, this design collection that we're going to talk about today. Talk us through why this is a tale of two rooms here.
For sure. So, as we continue to grow with Hotel Indigo, right, approaching 200 hotels in the next year, couple of years, there was an opportunity that we found, right, is sort of building upon what makes this brand so special, what guests love about this brand, and that sort of neighborhood, truly locally inspired sort of proposition, right? This experience, this space that is truly sort of singular and one of a kind, but sort of looking at sort of that against the value proposition for owners, right? And how we can sort of make that process of designing a boutique, a bespoke, a custom hotel a bit more seamless, a bit faster and more efficient, right, to save owners time and ultimately money.
Yeah, absolutely. And you were saying that this is a lot of these owners that are kind of going to Hotel Indigo. Mm-hmm. This might be their first time going into a brand like this. How is IHG and your team kind of helping them through this process where there are a lot of characteristics of this brand that come out, a flavor of this brand that is a local flavor? How are you assisting them and helping them in that sense?
That's a great question. So, with Hotel Indigo, and we've sort of embraced this approach for quite a while now. It all starts with the story. We are a narrative-driven sort of storytelling brand, and so we work with owners, designers, the brand team. We collaborate to create, before we even put pen to paper, right, a narrative of the neighborhood. And so with that narrative, then we go into bringing the experience and the design of the hotel to life. That can be a bit challenging to some. Sure. And so the opportunity, right, is to sort of think, how do we take that really unique sort of foundational approach and make the execution of it so much simpler and faster and more efficient. So that's kind of what we're seeing today, is one of what we're calling sort of the design studio, a set of new design solutions from this brand. This is the design collection that we're seeing, which is that foundational kit of components that you can then sort of very quickly program and sort of work through the schematic of your room and the room design and get to the fun part, which is customizing and putting that very unique spin on things, whether it's a piece of case goods or artwork or lighting or anything else like that.
Yeah, and we were talking about, obviously that's a huge component for owners that are getting into this brand, right? The efficiency, the support that your team, we're going to talk about in a second, the collection of designers that are going to assist in projects like this. But looking from the traveler side, there is a lot of cool, fun things to do. We were talking off camera how some of the coolest maybe Easter eggs that are found in a hotel room may be shared by the staff, but may be uncovered by the guests. And those are kind of the best stories, right? Because then all of a sudden it's shared on social media. Yeah. People look at the room a little bit differently. Pieces of artwork, the way that the furniture is put. We were talking about a headboard back there and all the design components there. Talk to us about what kind of why guests love this brand.
I really love it because it's like a brand with soul, right? Yeah. There is sort of that consistency and the assurance of the scale of this brand and the comfort and the quality that we deliver from hotel to hotel. But what's so special about it is everyone is unique and everyone sort of brings their story to life in its own unique way, right? So even with the narrative, which inherently is of a place, the way that comes to life is so different from hotel to hotel to hotel. So as you stay at a Hotel Indigo, you don't necessarily know where to look or what to expect, right? And so it might be, a subtle hand-painted tile in the shower, or a unique sort of, piece of wayfinding or signage, or a piece of hardware on a cabinet, or a dramatic moment at arrival. There's always these different moments, and you never know where to expect or where to find them necessarily, but they're there, and it strengthens that connection between brand and hotel team and guest.
Yeah. Well, and it's really compelling, I think, for both out-of-town travelers who are looking to learn more about a local area, but also local people that have a lot of neighborhood pride. You know what I mean? We talk about that all the time, about how a story really needs to be told, and people are looking a lot more locally. So when you're able to put a really unique space together like Hotel Indigo, it could make for some really cool results, which I'm sure these owners are loving. But let's talk about that. When you're looking to design, kind of the assistance that you're providing owners with a curated collection of designers.
For sure. So again, we knew when we set out to sort of make this process even better and easier, right? That it wouldn't be, like I said, a silver bullet, right? It's not one thing. You have to look at the process in totality, from beginning to end, really. And so as much as, we thought a kit of components, this design collection, would be very helpful, it couldn't be the only thing. And really, what we found is that what's so critical to a project's success, to staying on time, staying on budget, and then bringing the story to life so beautifully and uniquely, is the quality and the support of a qualified designer. And so we set out to find the best designers, right, in that sort of a very targeted sort of fee range, and located or distributed geographically across the US, but to find a set of designers that understood this segment in this space, that understood upper upscale, that understood lifestyle, and that really had sort of a proven track record in bringing really beautiful hotels like this to life. And so we looked at 27 different designers, right, with the idea to get to a very small sort of cadre or short list of design partners. And what we ultimately did was narrow this down to a list of design partners that, if a hotel owner is to engage with one of these partners, they get an exclusive and expedited IHG engagement model. So that takes, review and submittal process timelines from, 15, 20 days down to 2 to as many as, but not to exceed 4 days.
Yeah.
And those reviews now happen in person. Real-time feedback is delivered. The designer and the team can run with it. And so they're not waiting on comments to be logged back, and then, they have to resubmit, and then that whole process just gets mired in the swirl, right?
Sure.
And so that massively expedites the process. And then we've also sort of eliminated or really sort of reframed other submittals, right? So no longer do our design partners have to, submit spec drawings for review. It's simply for documentation, again, because we have the sort of the faith and the trust in these designers that they know what they're doing, and they're going to do it well. And so it's kind of like this sort of from RFP to PO. It's finding the right designer and then giving them the tools to make it even better and faster.
Well, it's super compelling in this macro environment, like we talk about with rising construction costs. We're trying to figure out, owners, developers are trying to figure out, how can we make this more efficient? Speed obviously is a big component, but also not at the cost of quality of product.
That's exactly right.
A partnership and program like this, I'm sure, is very compelling. And you actually said that you leaned a lot on owner feedback throughout this process. Maybe talk through that, and then talk through some of the feedback once you've rolled this out, because this is a fairly new concept, what you're hearing from owners right now.
It's a great point. We thought we had something here. But we knew that we couldn't go on this journey without sort of the insight and the guidance and of our owners who have developed and who operate Hotel Indigos across the U.S. And so we sort of set up, we'll call these sort of advisory committee, a sort of a subset of our OA from a diverse set of backgrounds. One owner had come from primarily sort of the essentials and suite space into upper upscale for their first time. Another had a lot of experience sort of in the adaptive reuse, conversion, historic space. So we had this diverse set, a small group of owners to really sort of help us through this whole process. And I'll be honest with you, when we brought this to the OA initially, they weren't especially enthused by it. I mean, they were like, don't dilute what makes this brand so special. That's what's so unique and compelling about Hotel Indigo, is that it's unique and one of a kind. Like, don't make this another prototypical brand.
Right.
And we heard that loud and clear. And so we worked with them to sort of make sure that from the design partner approach to the design collection approach, that we weren't sort of diminishing the specialness of this brand. And I will say by the end of it, when we sort of presented the totality of the solutions, we got a standing ovation. They loved it.
Wow.
And so there's a ton of excitement around this and what this can do for this brand moving forward.
Yeah, you love to see it when owners
Yeah.
cared
Oh,
so much
it was a
about
good day.
a brand.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
It's really cool to see. Excited to watch the growth of Hotel Indigo. You know, if you're a traveler listening to this, be sure to check it out. Maybe look for some of those you know, hidden features that make the story so unique with the Hotel Indigo design collection. And if you're an owner developer, we have a big hotel audience that listens to this.
Absolutely.
Be sure to keep your eyes on this brand because big things ahead.
For sure.
Brandon, thank you so much
Thank you
for
so
joining
much.
me on the
I really
Smooth Cloud.
appreciate it.
All right, thank you.